Welcome to the Octopod. I'm Kyle Davis, head of the Office of the CTO. Join us as we dive into the latest technologies and trends shaping business. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, a business leader, or just looking to stay ahead in the digital age, this podcast is for you. Let's unlock opportunities with technology together. Let's jump in.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim Russell, the Chief Technologist at CDW, and I'm here to talk to Laura from Zoom. Laura, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Tim. So I work at Zoom across Europe, Middle East and Africa, and my role is to lead customer experience AI as a practice here in the region.
Cool, excellent. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Now, Laura and I were speaking probably a couple of weeks ago, and we found ourselves going down a rabbit hole of AI and possibilities. We thought it would probably be a good idea if actually we created some content out of this that we could share with the broader world. And on the back of that, that's why we're here today. There's effectively two areas we're going to talk about today. One is communication and collaboration, and the other is customer experience. Now, start with the first one. Look, let's start with AI, because it wouldn't be the generation we're in now if we weren't talking about AI at some point or another. Take me through AI in the comms and collaboration from a Zoom perspective. Tell me what you're doing and how we can leverage that if you can.
Yeah, sure. So I think Zoom's really well known in the world for meetings and everyone connected through Zoom in COVID, and that's how the brand awareness and the brand loyalty and love sort of became a household name. But actually we've moved on so much from there, and we have this vision that we're bringing to life around being an AI first platform. And I know there's lots of AI first, and that's a language out there is used very much so. But what does that mean for Zoom? Well, actually, it just means how do we make that human limitless connection, that collaboration between humans more efficient and more effective? How do we utilize AI in a tangible way to actually help humans when they're trying to connect and collaborate in the workplace, or, we'll touch on more later from a customer experience side, which Zoom are heavily involved in now as well. So there's all sorts we're doing under the wrapper of AI, but for us it's actually how do we use that as a tangible benefit to support collaboration and conversation and human connection.
And it's funny, I think we spoke the other day about this AI. We use the analogy, AI is like riding a bike, and you quite like this one because if you ride a bike, it doesn't replace your legs. It makes your legs more efficient. It makes your ability to get somewhere quicker, but it never replaces your legs. And I like the fact that what you're saying and what we were talking about last time is this analogy works because AI is there to make us better at what we do, to make us more efficient. And I love to hear that. But on the back of that, obviously, when you come to this efficiency and this capability, we have to think about things like external bias, internal bias, security of information, quality of responses. What's AI doing from that perspective? What's Zoom doing with AI from that perspective? How are you impacting that?
Look, we have a culture of care here at Zoom. So whatever we're doing when it comes to AI, we want that to be transparent with our customers. We want that to be open and honest, and we want people to trust what we're doing. So throughout the platform, there's AI embedded. AI companion is wrapped within, regardless of whether you're using the CX part of the platform or the workplace part of the platform. And ultimately the goal here is actually how do we take a federated approach to AI. We don't just put all of our eggs in one basket. So we're looking at we are utilising Zoom's own proprietary model from an AI perspective, but we're also partnered with some key partners, OpenAI, Anthropic, to look at utilising that as well. What that means is we've got choice for our customers. It also provides much more of an accurate response. So we've got quality there. We're making sure that we're reducing that hallucination effect when we're recreating anything with AI. But also from that choice, you've got the opportunity to have human in the loop, which I think is super important. So if I think about how I use the Zoom platform on a day-to-day basis, I might jump into a meeting, I've arrived 5 minutes late, and I ask AI Companion just to bring me up to speed and prompt it, get me up to speed on what's happened in the meeting so far. What that means, I'm not disrupting the meeting, I'm not disrupting the flow of conversation and people aren't repeating themselves. So, if you think about a traditional meeting, oh, Laura's just joined, let me recap. You then add another 5 minutes onto the meeting, it breaks the flow of conversation. That's just one sort of example of how we're bringing that content to life and pushing that to support me in my conversations. And then as you go through that, I can really focus on the conversation in hand, because it's like my personal assistant taking my notes and providing that at the end of the meeting for me so I can recap, it takes my action points. But what's really cool and where I love where Zoom's going with this vision is embedding it throughout the entire platform means, you know, I might have finished that meeting, but I might want to create a document based on that. What normally, traditionally, I'd write, I'm a pen and paper girl traditionally, so I'd write everything down. Then I'd have to think, and honestly, I'm not too creative as an individual, right? So this is where I see our AI really sort of helping me as an individual go into a document. I think, right, I need to create, you know, a next agenda, a next action plan. I prompt my AI assistant, AI companion to help me do that. And again, this is human in the loop stuff. So the AI is using our models, and bringing that content to me. But as the human in the loop, I can check that. Okay, that's not quite right. Let me adapt, but it gives me that creative spark to build from. And I think that's, you know, we always talk about AI as an efficiency gain, and that is one of the outcomes that AI can provide. But I'm actually finding by using it personally, it's helping me achieve different skill sets that perhaps are not my first and foremost.
Yeah, it gears you up to a degree. And I think that's one of those things, you know, you said about the massive adoption of Zoom through the pandemic and us working at home. But also, I think that whole pandemic drove a change in how we worked. Being at your desk at 6 o'clock in the morning and having an extended lunch and being back at 10 o'clock at night became a norm, but not talking to other people. And I find, you know, things like Zoom AI, you can talk to your new imaginary friend, right? Yeah, you've got a trustworthy friend you can talk to and say, is this a good idea or this a bad idea? Or I need to write this document and I've had an inspiration and it's 6 o'clock in the morning, I can't talk to anyone. And I think what you're hinting at there is this capability for us to use AI to make ourselves better anytime, any place, anywhere, literally all the time. No, absolutely great. I love that. Now, you've hinted at it a couple of times. We've mentioned it. You've moved out of the workplace, you know, the standard acceptable comms and collaboration, and we've started talking about CX, customer experience, EX, employee experience. Do you want to take me a little bit further down that journey and understand what you're doing and how especially AI is coming in to augment and change that? Because for me, I've been involved in contact centers for more years than I care to imagine. And we've faced the same problem in contact centers since the start. There's usually capacity in human people to answer calls. Now, I think AI, and you know, please correct me if you think otherwise, AI has reached a level of maturity where it's no longer press 1 for this, press 2 for that. It's conversational, but also understanding to a degree that it delivers real value into a customer experience. Now, please give me your perspective.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, right? Because when you think of customer experience, naturally you just mentioned contact center, and that's the first place you go. But when I think of customer experience, I actually think of an end-to-end journey. So I think of if I was going to collaborate, speak with a brand about, you know, any form of service they're providing me, there may be, you know, the first port of call would be go on my phone to their website or to their app, right? So I think what we've got to think about here is it's not just siloed within the contact centre anymore. The contact centre has almost become this hub and hive of activity centralised to customer experience. But where that works really well from a Zoom perspective is customer experience could be first point of contact in the contact centre, but actually we need to do some back office work. And how do we drive that continuity of experience from a customer perspective, regardless whether it's you know, a customer or an employee? There needs to be continuity of experience across that in order to drive those outcomes we're looking to drive. And that's where at Zoom it's been really cleverly designed, because we're an AI-first platform that's integrated throughout the platform. We have the ability to not only look at improving the efficiencies in the contact centre, so yeah, absolutely supporting agents when it comes to taking away some of that monotonous journey by introducing virtual agents where customers can contact at any time and get a response. But also, if we do need to hand that over to a human, making that seamless from an agent perspective, providing them a summarisation of what the customer's looking to do so they're fully prepared as they go into that conversation. I don't know how many times you've called a contact centre, been passed around and had to repeat yourself. And as a customer, it's hugely frustrating. Using AI to take away some of that frustration from a customer perspective also takes away that, I guess, cringe moment for an agent where they have to ask, so why are you ringing in? So I think when we think about efficiency gains from a business perspective, again, that is absolutely an outcome of AI. But we need to think about how is this having a human impact on the customer and the agents. And likewise, if it's something that the contact centre can resolve and there needs to be a handover to a back office and that then goes into sort of a phone-style interaction, how do we utilise AI to have that continuity of the conversation that's happened from a customer perspective to pass to that third person or fourth person in the business so there's a continuum of information? And that for me is where we can start to be a bit more clever with AI around not just a one and done first point of contact interaction, but actually bringing it to life across the full customer experience journey, which might actually teeter into workplace a little bit as well.
Yeah, really interesting. I'm going to come back with a question on that about efficiency, but I think also, we talk about contact center, as I said, to start off with, but you talk about that entire end-to-end journey, but we still rely on people to deliver that service. Now, do you see the AI and the CX capability in Zoom speeding up the onboarding and reducing stress and burnout in these agents because it offloads a little bit of the responsibility?
I think there's 2 points to this. I think when you're looking at improving your customer journey from an agent lens and you're looking at utilising AI, the first thing you can do is take away some of that crappy, heavy burden of administration work that, agents have never liked doing. So whether that just be the AI auto selects the disposition code for you and pushes that into the CRM, or it auto summarises and provides actions and pushes that into the CRM, it can take away some of that monotony for an agent. So yes, there is a benefit there. I think where the human element comes in and what organisations should be considerate of is we don't want then agents to be taking on highly emotive or complex scenarios for long shifts and having to take them one after the other after the other. If we're going to drive efficiency, I think, maybe 10 years ago, the whole chatbot era was let's drive efficiency and reduce our number of agents in the contact centre. I think now we have to take consideration of let's have these efficiency gains utilising AI from a benefit of an agent perspective, but let's not necessarily reduce the agent headcount. Let's give them time back, which is the real value add here for me. Let's give them 5 minutes between each call to grab a coffee, to take a breath, to reset themselves, because actually that employee experience is just as important as the customer experience.
Yeah, it's funny. There's two things you touched on there. So whenever I talk about a modern workspace, which includes comms and collaboration, we're talking about time. We can't save it, we can't store it, we can't reuse it, we can't reclaim it. Everything we do has to be about giving people time. But it's also, you hinted at something there, is quite often people focus on cost and a physical count when the real value comes in value and quality. And as an end user for any service, in the nicest possible way, I don't care how many people you employ, I care about my experience. And we should be making decisions along these two caveats. One is, how do we give more time to an individual, be it a CX, EX, internal, external? And how do we create the quality of experience that meets the expectations on both sides of that? Which is, I think, absolutely critical.
And I think there's another point to this where, we talk about speed to competency for our agents, our employees. And we talk about, great, with AI, we can surface content and knowledge to them. We can surface procedures to them. So they're not having to toggle tax between 10, 15 multiple applications. Perhaps what we should be talking about is speed to confidence, not competence. Because actually, we can make somebody competent. It doesn't mean they're confident in the delivery of that customer experience. So for me, it's thinking about, there's a great benefit in speeding up their competency, but how do we also layer on that confidence level so that when they're interacting with a customer or interacting with an internal peer to make sure that that end customer gets what they need, that they have that confidence and they can drive that first contact resolution and, CSAT, NPS, all of those results that brands are looking to drive for that brand loyalty, return customer making profit effectively.
Not so much reading from a script, but actually talking with confidence, as you say. Look, I think this has been great. We've dropped some caveats or there are some ideas in there. Are there any closing kind of best practices or ideas you'd like to plant now where people who are listening or watching this can say, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's start looking at how we do that in our organisation and how we can start changing how we operate. What would you leave them with?
So it's going to sound strange coming from a Zoomie, but leave the technology alone. Look at that end-to-end customer journey. You'll have tons of data in there. I always suggest looking at that data from 3 lenses: the lens of the customer, the lens of the agent, and the lens of your business and what you're actually looking to drive from. Where are the pain points in that customer journey? Where are the challenges that you need to resolve for? And what is the solution you want that to become? If you could redesign that journey to effectively drive all of those metrics from an agent, a customer, and a business lens, build out that customer journey solution, then start to map the technology in. Because if you try and fit it around technology, you're never going to find the right solution.
100% agree. And my conversations are nearly always about the outcome and not the bit of tin we're using. Thank you, Laura. I really appreciate your time. This has been absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure we're going to make some more of these in the future.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Be sure to check out the back catalogue for more great insights. Don't forget to subscribe via your favourite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. We appreciate your support. And if you have a topic you want us to cover, feel free to reach out. Catch you next time.